Welcome back to the Night Sports Arena. We are getting ready for game number 2, the men's contest between Frostburg and Southern Virginia. Jim Bresnahan now joined by Heather Roberts, the head women's basketball coach here at Southern Virginia University. As in game number 1, we had the Knights beating Frostburg 70-65. And
Yay.
Heather, you had congratulations on the victory. I know it's been a tough season, up and down, but your team was able to hang on down the stretch.
Yeah, we looked at, I think the kids work really hard, and so we've had a lot of great second halves, and we just haven't had some good first half, so it was nice for them to put together a complete game today.
What were some of the keys? I mean, you got a lot of contributions down the stretch. Melinda Boren had a great second half.
She
You got
did.
a lot of big three-pointers. Larissa Conger, who's been struggling with her shot, hit 2 big threes.
Yeah, and I think the kids, they just really just buy into working hard, and then those things will pay off. I thought we made some adjustments defensively that worked pretty well. I thought our defense was really solid and really kept us in it. I thought we freaked out a little bit and turned the ball over too many times, but overall the kids did enough what they had to do to win.
Well, how tough has it been? Because the team hasn't had a whole lot of leads to play with in the last 4 or 5 minutes, so it takes some getting used to, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, and so we haven't been in that situation. So when I'm saying, keep the ball in your hands, they must interpret that as meaning pass to the other team. So anyway, we're trying to work on, just listening and just kind of being in that situation. But they made enough free throws at the end, got enough defensive stops to get the win.
Well, that was really the key, I thought. Maybe just good defense by the Knights, too.
Right. Yeah, I thought they did, and we tried to mix up the different defenses just to throw something different at them. And then they had 2 kids that got most of their points, number 2 and number 33, and I thought we did a nice job on those 2.
Yeah, I mean, early on it was Fields, and then Bria Jones coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Boy, she just had a great first half, too.
Yeah, she did. I thought she did a nice job, and but then so I just kind of made some different defensive adjustments, and the kids did a good job on them.
So how big of a victory is this for you guys to really come off like this and get a win at home?
Well, this is our first win at home.
First capital
so
win.
For us it's huge, and so we talked about that. It's our second capital win, and so for us to even have an outside chance to get in the CAC tournament, we needed to get this game. So it was nice, and we talked about we hadn't won at home yet, so let's come out and do that. And we kind of looked at this, this next 2 weeks as kind of stretches that these are games that we can compete and play.
Well, we talked about this with Tony Caputo. The record is a little deceiving because you guys have had a lot of close calls at home and on the road this season.
Yeah, we have had a lot. We've been in a lot of games, and so it's just getting the kids the confidence to get over that hump. And so a lot of times my team, I've noticed they take these 8-minute stretches where we don't score, so those kind of things. And so it's just trying to, like I said, put together those 40 minutes. But I got to give the kids credit. They come every day and they work really hard. And there's been a lot of times where they could say we're done, but they don't. They just keep coming out.
And now for the next few weeks, you guys have a very tough game coming up at Wesley on Saturday, back here against Christopher Newport, and then another tough road game at Salisbury.
Well, in the Wesley one, they're the team that we only lost to by 1, and so we talked about that in there. And so we're looking at that, and hopefully we can come back and make a few little adjustments and do some things there. But I look at that one. Christopher Newport, that was when they dropped 100 on us. So anyways, but they like to play up and down, so I think it'll be fun, and just to get out there. But it'll be nice to play at home, and, hopefully we can do some good things.
Well, Heather, congratulations to you and the team.
Thank you so much.
Big win tonight.
Thank you so much.
70-65, the final score in the first game. We've got the men's contest coming up in just a couple of minutes, so stay with us. Jim Bresnahan, Mike Harmon, we are getting ready for game number 2 here from the Knight Sports Arena, the men's contest between Southern Virginia University and Frostburg. And Frostburg checks in 3-5 in the Capital Conference. They are 7-8, Mike, overall in the season. 0-8 is Southern Virginia in the conference, looking for their first Capital victory. They are 2-12 overall.
And tonight would be a great night to go ahead and get that first win in the Capital. You know, you have Frostburg that had to travel down here. They do have a 3-5 record, but anytime opponents come into the barn, anything can happen.
Starting lineups for Frostburg. Up front, they've got Breon Powell, a 6'1 junior, joined by senior Jabari Kamau. He's 6'4". Terrell Goodman, a junior, 6'2", will start tonight, all along with Gerald Carter. He is 6'3", a junior, and Nick Smoot, a 5'10 junior. Starting today for Southern Virginia tonight, David Beatty at 1 forward slot. Mike, he is 6'7", a junior. He'll be joined by Emmett Mosley, the point guard, a 5'10 junior. Also starting tonight, Taylor Larson at the shooting forward slot. He is a freshman. Also starting tonight, Kevin Walker, the shooting guard, a junior. And then Michael Neufville inside. He is the 6'6 freshman center.
You know, and we saw a couple of games ago that Kevin Walker really came in and gave the Knights a spark. Last game, he tried to do a little bit too much and tried to force the action. It'd be really nice to see him calm down a little bit and just let his natural ability do what he can do, find open shots for other people.
You know, the Knights men's team, pretty much the problems have been comparable to the women's team this season in that they're really hurting and leading in the Capital Conference, I believe, in turnovers and also total fouls committed in a game.
Yeah, and again, with the shuffling of the lineup that Coach Caputo has had to do, you know, you kind of feel for them, but again, like I said earlier in the women's game, that in the Capital Conference, no one feels sorry for each other. And this is just another game. Hopefully right now that Coach Caputo and his staff has figured out the rotations and find the right pieces that we can see the Knights really prosper here.
Yeah, maybe it's just as simple as you cannot replace Preston Eaton and Wes Evans, you know, man for man. The team has to kind of gear up. You can't replace Preston with this guy and Wes with this guy. It's just going to have to be the team picking up the slack.
Everybody has to step up their game just 1 or 2 notches. Not one person has to become the next Preston Eaton or the next Wes Evans, but everybody has to pick up 1 or 2 little notches.
And that leaves it up to the role players. Maybe like we talked about, perhaps Cody Hosier, you know?
Yeah, again, Cody, great shooting night last time we saw him here. We need to see now if that shooting can continue or if that was a one-night thing. I've seen him shoot a lot, and I like his mechanics, so I'm pretty sure that that's probably an all-the-time thing if the Knights can just get him open.
How about some of the other role players that in some cases are starting a player like Emmett Mosley?
Yeah, Emmett, we've seen him have really good nights, and we've seen him when he tries to get going too fast, he can kind of get out of control. If he can keep his speed under control, he can be a real asset to the Knights. Michael Neufville, we've seen him do great things when he's able to stay out on the floor. Last game, he was out of the game in the first 2 or 3 minutes.
It'll be Michael Neufville tipping the ball at center with Jarrell Carter. He is a 6'3 junior. Neufville 6'6, so the opening tip easily goes to the Knights. And it'll be Walker dribbling into the paint. Nothing there. Gives up his dribble. Taylor Larson with it now. Over to Mosley. We talked about this last home game, Mike. David Beatty, try not to force things, trying not to take a game over by himself.
Yeah, and you know, he's one of the kids that can take a game over, but he's got to let it come to him and not force it.
Larson got free for a baseline jumper. Had a good look, couldn't hit. Beatty got the rebound. Forced out of bounds. Foul, I believe. They're going to be called. And it'll go against Frostburg. Terrell Goodman picks it up.
And that foul was called by our good friend Ray Bullock Jr. His dad used to referee all our games here. Nice to see Ray Jr. back. Had a chance to talk with him a lot, and just a great referee.
You know you're getting older when it's a father-son thing, huh?
Yeah, Ray Jr. and Ray Sr. did a lot of our games. Just a phenomenal referee tandem.
Here's a pass inside the Neufville. Got free, and he couldn't hit. It rolled off. But so the Knights had 2 good looks at it.
You know, if they're going to get those shots, it's going to be a good night for them.
And down low, Kamau couldn't hit inside. Or Goodman make that, and the rebound comes off for the Knights. Mosley, left side, nothing there, so he stops. Gives over to Beatty. Beatty moving to the right now. Now Mosley with it. Mosley to Neufville, top of the key. He'll fire the jumper from outside and miss.
You know, and it looks like Frostburg's switching those screens, so when you have a big on small screen, it'd be nice to see the ball get reversed back and then pass the ball inside.
Walker stole the pass but had no one to save it to, so it's still Frostburg basketball. Inbounds pass, shot is no good. Tipped out of bounds, and it's still going to be Frostburg basketball. Last touch by the Knights.
And the Knights really have to do some gang rebounding. There's not a real dominant rebounder on the Knights men's team. They all have to go in and rebound and really box out.
Jump shot off the glass, no good again by Powell. Newfield got the rebound, he's fouled. That's the second team foul on Frostburg. And Frostburg, not a very big team. Athletic, obviously, but not very tall. And both teams, Mike, have struggled here in the early going. We played nearly 2 minutes, and no one has scored yet.
Yeah, we like to call this the filling out stage, right?
Just a couple of shots, not even come close to the rim. And there's a pass off Walker's hands out of bounds. Turnover Knights.
And we saw Michael Newfield come out and set that screen for Emmett Mosley. The switched, it'd be nice to see Emmett Mosley reverse his dribble back around to the right side and look inside for Michael Newfield, who has a guard on him.
Still no points for either team. Played a little over 2 minutes. Breon Powell, nice pass inside to Kamau. Spin move, no good on the shot. Rebound Beatty. Beatty, no one checking him. He goes all the way to Newfield, and the pass off Michael's leg and out of bounds, and the ball goes right back over to Frostburg. Tyler Campbell into the game now for Frostburg, a 6'6" senior. Replacing Goodman, who's got those 2 fouls. Pass inside to Kamau. Kamau almost lost it. Powell picks it up, misses along the baseline. Kamau with the rebound. His shot is no good. He's fouled. And so Jabari Kamau goes to the foul line to shoot 2 as Newfield picks up that foul.
And we've seen the Knights have good open looks, just as Frostburg has had good open looks, and nothing's being able to go down. We'd like to think that was good defense, but it looks like they're rushing their shots a little bit more.
And Kamau hits the first foul shot. Point on the board here for Frostburg. Kamau, 6'4", senior. And his second foul shot is good, and Frostburg jumps out to a 2-0 lead. The Knights looking for some offense. Backdoor pass, Beatty from Mosley lays it up and in.
And again, trying to use some of that speed that Frostburg has against them by letting them overplay and then cutting back door.
Nice pass by Mosley. Haskins inside to Campbell. His pass outside is too far for his teammate. Pulled out of the air by the Knights, but a bad pass by Walker trying to hit Beatty on the trail. And the other way goes Breon Powell, and he lays it up and in. 4-2 Frostburg.
And those are those turnovers that you really can't afford, those open court turnovers that lead to layups. We've seen that with the women's team, and now we're seeing it with the men's team.
Larson's open for a 3. Missed it long, got his own rebound momentarily. Stops, gives it over to Beatty. Beatty into the paint. His running jump shot is no good, and the rebound to Kamau, and he's off to the break. And he gets it ahead to Carter, who lays it up and in. 6-2 Frostburg.
And that seems to be what Frostburg wants to do, is get up and down the floor, score quickly. When they have to get into a set offense, they look like they struggle a little bit more.
4-point lead for the Bobcats. Knights look to respond. Beatty along the baseline, put it on the floor, lost the ball, picked up by Frostburg. And they're on a break again. Jarrell Carter skips back to the left to Smoot for a 3-pointer, and he hit it. 9-2 Frostburg.
You know, here's a 7-0 run for Frostburg. I'd expect if the Knights don't score here, and Frostburg does, get a timeout.
Mosley all the way gets the bucket. Big basket there, 9-4 Frostburg. Interesting, Mike, talking with Heather Roberts about the big win, the first home win of the season for the Knights. Obviously, first home victory in the Capital Conference as well, and hopefully that'll take some of the heat off the women's team.
Yeah, and it should. They should relax a little bit more now. I know they've been searching for that win and coming close so many times. Now they can breathe a little bit and probably let things flow a little bit more.
Trying to deal with all those turnovers when you're trying to handle the ball and, put away a big victory. And That's got to be frustrating for the coach. I know you probably dealt with that from time to time.
Yeah, and that's something that you really have to work on in practice and demand excellence in practice.
Well, as Heather's told us, the Knights have never really had the lead, a lead to protect and salt away in the final few minutes of this season, really.
Yeah, and in hindsight, she'll probably wish that she would have called a few more timeouts going down that last stretch to remind them that, hey, we got the lead. They have to come to us. She'll probably do that in the next game that they have that's that close.
Both teams a little ragged here in the men's contest, but Frostburg has that 8-point lead right now, 12-4. Each team dealing with turnovers.
Coach Caputo just called a full timeout.
With 14:49 to go, we have played a little over 5 minutes, Mike, and only 4 points for the Knights. The last time they were at home against Mary Washington, they struggled early on in the opening minutes.
Yeah, we saw them struggle early on, but come back and bring it back to them in the second half. I know that's not what Coach Caputo wants to have repeat. That's why the early timeouts happening. They've had some good shots in the paint, just haven't been able to put them down, and I think that's, again, a little bit of anxiousness and trying to rush and trying to get that first Capital Conference win.
And, defensively, trying to stop a very fast, athletic Frostburg ball club.
Yeah, this is why they really have to execute on offense and not have those live ball turnovers, because Frostburg really wants to get out and run and score within the first 10 seconds of the shot clock.
Well, we talked about the Knights being on the road, coming up on Saturday, playing on the road at Wesley. And maybe we could talk more about this at halftime, but how difficult is it to play a road contest? And I'm sure they vary as far as the amount of hours to get to the place and then the gymnasium, the arena itself. But did you prefer to play on the road on a weeknight or a weekend? Does it make a difference?
I prefer to do it on a weeknight. That way you got through your regular day routine. It was just something that was felt a little bit better. I know that the Knights, both the men and women's team, are going to be leaving on Friday afternoon to go up to Wesley and spend the night. I really believe that you'd play better when you sleep in your own bed the night before. Sleeping in hotels, it's fun and exciting and everything, but you just don't get that good sleep that you would in your bed.
The bus trip up, and you just go right off and play. How does that impact things?
They're used to it. When they come out of high school, they've played AAU games where they've gotten right off and played, or played a game and then played another game. So it's not as detrimental as one would think.
Dragnich missing from the baseline, but there's no fill for the stick back.
Again, nice offensive rebounding. Again, trying to take advantage of what the Knights have over the Bobcats, which I think is a little bit more power on the inside.
And the Knights have cut that lead down to 6. Pass inside to Campbell. His shot was no good. Tyler Campbell apparently fouled.
And Michael caught way behind Tyler Campbell as he just buried Michael Newfield up underneath the basket. I don't think that's the type of defense that Coach Caputo wants to see.
And Newfield just picked up his second foul.
Well, he made it about 3 minutes longer than he did in our last home game.
First foul shot no good as Canterbury will check into the game along with Justin Langford. Also Ryan Lynch, a 6'3" freshman, checking into the game for the Bobcats.
Now in our last home game when Ben Canterbury checked in, he went right to work.
Second shot no good, but there's a rebound by Kamal for Frostburg after 2 missed foul shots by Campbell. Lynch inside to Campbell. Went around Canterbury. Missed the shot. Dragic with the rebound. Fast break to Beatty. All the way Beatty. Off balance. Missed the shot. Rebound. Frostburg. Back come the Bobcats.
And there's where you want to see David either pull it back out or come to a jump stop.
Long three. No good. And it'll go over to Southern Virginia after the long three was missed by the junior guard, Nick Smoot.
Again, we see what Frostburg wants to do, push the ball and get that fast layup or that fast three-point shot.
12-6, Frostburg by 6. 13:42 to go here in the first half. Knights set up the play. Mosley dribbling left. Looking for a pick for Dragic or Beatty. Beatty over to Langford along the baseline. Shot blocked by Campbell. Foul called. Justin Langford will go to the foul line to shoot 2.
Campbell got that call on him as he bumped him with the lower body. Upper body was clean.
Yep. So Langford, the sophomore, shooting foul shots, hits the first one. The Knights seemingly in the last couple of minutes have kind of stabilized things here, Mike, as they try to work their way back into this game.
Well, they've slowed things down on the offensive end, and defensively they're really making the Frostburg Bobcats work the ball around, which is not their forte. They want to score quickly.
Second shot is no good. Rebound to Carter. Bobcats quickly back the other way. Kamau with it. Now Lynch. Smooth way outside to Kamau. Over to Carter. Three-pointer out of the corner is no good, but he got his own rebound. Drops it inside to Lynch, and his shot is wild and no good. And the rebound to Walker.
I expect the Knights to try to work it a little bit to find the open person, especially cutting from the high post down to the low post.
Beatty's got it. 20 on the shot clock. Knights down by 5. Beatty down the lane. Jump shot is good by the Knights. And they get within 3 now, 12-9. Kamau's going to try a 3. It's no good. Rebound, David Beatty. Knights on the break. Beatty trying to go coast to coast. A little out of control, and they call him for a travel.
Yeah, and that's where David needs to understand 1 against 3, not good odds, not good numbers. Driving against the zone on a set play, that's where he's really difficult to defend.
And sometimes, I guess, when you're in that situation, you're driving really to hopefully get fouled, and sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't.
Yeah, and you never want to really leave it in the hands of the referees. You want to have the ball in your own hands and force your own fortunes with it.
3-point lead for Frostburg. They've led the entire way. 12-11 to go here in the first half. End of the first game, Southern Virginia beat Frostburg in the women's contest 70-65.
Cody Hosier's checked in for the Knights. Defensively, a little bit of a liability because people can shoot right over the top of him. But offensively, if they run some screens for him, he can be deadly from the three-point line.
Ball by Tyler Michael. Knights come down, only down by 3. Canaveri goes baseline. His shot is no good. He's fouled. He'll go to the foul line. Campbell picks up his second foul.
And this is how the Knights have made this small comeback that they're on right now, is attacking the basket, forcing the Bobcats to play some defense and either give them the layup or foul them.
Of course, unlike the women's team, this Frostburg men's team is a pretty deep roster.
Yeah, they have a very deep roster. But the Knights can get to the 1-and-1 relatively easy in this half and use that to their advantage. 14
fouls on Frostburg, just 2 on Southern Virginia as Canterbury makes the first foul shot. 1 more coming. Canterbury tries to knock the lead down to 1, and he does. It was an 8-point lead just a second ago at 12-4. Now it's 12-11. Knights have cut that lead down to 1 with 11:44 to go until halftime. Driving to the basket, and the ball's knocked away from Goodman. Hosier all the way. He lays it up, and he couldn't get the shot to go. Rebound, Tyler Michael for Frostburg to Smoot. Smoot's pass stolen away by Langford. Back come the Knights. Only down by 1. Walker works up court to Langford. Langford over to Canaveri. He'll spin and drive for it and scores. And the Knights are on top now, 13-12. And now Frostburg is going to take a timeout.
And when Ben gets that kind of position down low, he has a wide body. He's going to create a lot of space. And once he drop steps and gets you on his hip, it's up to him to put the ball in the basket, and we've seen him do that quite a bit.
The Knights were down at one point 12-4, and they took a timeout, and they've worked their way back all the way to the point of taking a 1-point lead in this game.
And they've done it by attacking the basket and forcing the referees to call a foul if they are being fouled because they are forcing the contact. Getting to the free throw line and hitting the free throws, something that they can probably put into their arsenal for the rest of the season.
Yeah, unlike the women's contest in the first game, we are seeing a lot of contact and fouls being called on the inside play.
Yeah, sometimes referees in the women's games don't believe that the game is that physical, But sometimes the women's game is a little bit more physical than the men's game.
Southern Virginia 5 of 14 from the floor right now. Frostburg, Mike, only 4 of 16 shooting.
Both of them are at 11 rebounds, 3 for 4 from the free throw line for the Knights, and we can expect to see that go even higher.
And here's a jump shot outside by Frostburg, no good. Rebound to the Knights. Langford pulls it down. Walker trying to go all the way. He goes right side to Hosier, and he misses the jump shot outside. Dragnich tried to grab the rebound. It's out of bounds, and it goes over to Frostburg.
It was a good look by Cody, but it's hard to come in and hit that first shot from deep.
And, Cody, I guess a little bit of a streak shooter. So, once he gets on a roll.
Yeah, when he sees the first one goes in, he thinks that the next 10 will.
1 point lead right now for the Knights. They trailed at 1 point, 12-4 on top here, 13-12. Goodman to Smoot. Pass inside into a crowd. Somehow got through the defenders. Shot is missed. Goodman with the rebound. His follow shot no good. He's fouled, and Terrell Goodman will go to the foul line as the foul goes against the Knights.
Well, again, the Knights have been susceptible to runs, but they haven't let the Bobcats really go on that big of a run that they couldn't come back from. Coach Caputo really stopped it at the very beginning of the game, and the Knights have really brought it back to them.
First foul shot as good as Dragnich picked up that foul. That was his first, team's third. Goodman's second foul shot is no good, and Dragnich has the rebound. All tied here at 13. And we are now down to 10 minutes left in the first half. Kyle Dragnich working on Goodman. Nice wraparound pass to Langford. Shot good.
And the post players for the Knights look really composed tonight. They're not rushing their shots. The first 2 minutes of the game, it was just nerves. But right now, they're really composed, making very decisive moves and finding the bottom of the basket.
Smoot's got it for Frostburg. Over to Michael. Long three-pointer by Tyler Michael is up and good. The 6'3" freshman scores to put Frostburg on top 16-15. Hosier with the ball in the front court. Now the Knights are down by 1. Hosier over to Langford. Foul line jumper on the way. Too strong. Langford with a follow shot up and in. Hey, no one blocked him out.
And this is the best that we've seen Langford in a long time. He's really being active on the offensive and defensive boards.
17-16. And the other way, a travel is called on Carter. Turnover for the Bobcats.
It's like wholesale changes coming in for the Bobcats now.
They'll bring a 6'7" post player into the game, Zachary Coleman.
Right now out on the floor, the Knights are really going to be aware of Michael, as he's about a 35% three-point shooter for the season.
Knights with a 1 point lead in the ball. Walker's got it inside to Beatty. Beatty into the lane. Shot is blocked by the big 6'7" freshman. And Frostburg now with a chance to retake the lead as Carter to Smoot, and Smoot misses the shot, and Beatty grabs the rebound. Beatty weaving through defenders all the way, lays it up and in.
And that's something that David really, it looks good right now, and it gets the crowd going.
And a slam attempt on a foul is called by the Knights as they stop that slam attempt by Coleman against 6'7" freshman, biggest guy on the floor right now. And Webb Hatch, the coach for Frostburg, obviously putting a freshman in at 6'7", hoping he'll dominate maybe for a few minutes.
Yeah, get him a couple rebounds, maybe a few block shots. We'll see how he is from the free throw line. But if David's going to continue to attack 1 against 3, that could really cause some problems later on down the road for the Knights.
First foul shot, no good. Canterbury checks back in, replacing Hosier. So you got Larson out there right now with Walker, Beatty, Canterbury, and Mosley.
And the big guy Coleman's only a 53% free throw shooter, so maybe not a bad foul to stop him from dunking.
That was an air ball. Looked like it came off his hand a little funny, off to the right. Kind of like a field goal kicker when they shake him.
Yeah. So great foul. Stop the sure dunk. Stop the 2 points.
And the Knights have a 3-point lead. There's Canaveri near the foul line. One dribble. Gives up his dribble. Gives it over to Mosley. Emmett over to Beatty. And Beatty apparently out of bounds.
Yeah, he didn't establish himself back in bounds after he ran out of bounds.
So turnover for the Knights, and the ball goes back over to Frostburg now.
And it seems like the zone that the Knights have been playing has really got the Bobcats a little bit confused.
Kamau misses inside, and only one shot for the Bobcats on that trip. Rebound Knights, Beatty, right side baseline. Back outside to Mosley. Now Walker with it. Knights have a 3-point lead. They trailed at 1 point in this first half by 8, 12-4. Now on top, 19-16. On a 17-4 run. Walker, nice pass over to Mosley in the baseline. Shot clock is down to 8. Canaveri spins into a double team, lofts the shot, no good, and the rebound comes off to the 6'7" Coleman. Patrick to Michael, fires the three, and it rims out. Big miss there, Mike, because he's already got a 3 tonight.
Yeah, and they really got to recognize where he is when they go on a fast break.
Beatty thought about taking the 3, and he is called for a travel.
And the Knights have gotten this lead by attacking on the inside and being patient on offense, moving the ball with a lot of crispness. Once they start trying to go one-on-one, we're going to see some breakdowns.
And these turnovers are allowing Frostburg to hang around because they've struggled offensively too.
Yeah, like I said, the zone's got them a little bit confused. They don't like, really looks like they don't like passing the ball inside too much, and they want to really either attack it with the dribble or shoot the 3.
David Patrick has it for Frostburg outside. Now Jarrell Carter back to Patrick. Carter, right corner. He'll fire the long 3. No good. Walker, perfect positioning for the rebound. Ahead to Aaron Rimbaugh, who's into the game. Rimbaugh goes all the way. He puts up a wild shot off the glass. Doesn't draw any rim, and the rebound to Frostburg the other way. It is Carter all the way. He lost the ball. Walker, good defense. No foul called.
Technical foul now.
Yep, technical on Carter. Carter must have said something to the ref about what he thought was a foul on him, or that he was fouled, and there was no foul called, and they hit him with a technical foul instead. So 6:12 to go. We saw a technical in the first game, the women's contest, and now a technical here in the men's game.
Yeah, they're really trying to crack down on any kind of foul language being used out on the floor because, this is supposed to be a family-friendly game. The NCAA is taking it very seriously, and so they've been instructed that the referees call it as soon as they hear it.
So we'll see if the Knights could take advantage by hitting some free throws here after the technical.
Still a lot of discussion going on. I don't think that the referees are going to change their minds.
(19-16) is your score. Frostburg at 1 point on top by 8 points in this basketball game. Now down by 3. And Langford will go to the foul line for the Knights. Foul shot up and in. 4-point lead now for Southern Virginia University. And Langford in them both. 5-point lead for the Knights. They are on a 17-3 run here, Mike, after being down 12-4.
The coaches from Frostburg are arguing that the fans can't stand up where they are down at the end line. As long as they are 6 foot back from the end line, that's fair game.
So the Knights now with a 5-point lead in the basketball. Mosley is out there, along with Langford, also Dragnich, Rimbaugh, and Canaveri.
Oh, and it looks like they're going to ask the game day administrator telling them to sit down, but that's not the rules. As long as there's a 6-foot line, that anything behind that 6-foot line, they can stand and talk and do whatever they want.
So here we go, 6:12 to go till halftime, and the Knights with a 5-point lead in the ball. Let's see where the Knights go for it offensively this trip down with a 5-point lead, trying to expand upon this lead. Canterbury outside of Dragnich. Dragnich lost the ball, stolen away. All the way goes Carter, lays it up and in. Guess Carter thought he was fouled by Mosley too, but there was no foul call again, but he got the layup to go.
Again, the players are a little bit too fast for the referees to get back.
21-18. Langford's got it outside. He'll fire. It hit. Boy, Langford's having a good first half.
And just like Jones in the first half for Frostburg on the women's side, just going unconscious. Langford right now is the hot hand for the Knights.
And the Knights hold that 5-point lead again, 23-18. Pass down low, shot up and in, good by Kamau. He pulls his team within 3 again at 23-20.
Yeah, nice little flex cut against that zone, found him wide open underneath the basket.
Frostburg came in 7-8 on the season. Knights looking for their 3rd win of the season. They are 2-12 on the season coming in overall. 0-8 in the conference. Here's Langford, jump shot no good. And then the Bobcats pull down the rebound, down by 3. It's Carter. Over to Michael for 3, and he hits it and ties the game.
And that's his specialty right there. Looks like the Bobcats really like to drive and they like to kick, and if he can find that 3-point dead corner, he's 2 for 3 already.
Yeah, Tyler Michael's got a couple of threes here, the freshman. He ties the game at 23. Pass to Langford. He gets free inside, lays it up. Oh, left it short. No good. Rebound Bobcats. Michael thought about a 3, didn't take it, drives instead over to Carter. Carter drives to the basket, weaving, missing the shot off the glass, no good. The rebound comes away to Dragnich for the Knights. Still tied at 23 with 3:52 to go till halftime.
Both teams are playing with a lot of energy right now.
Not necessarily shooting the ball that good, but
not a lot of execution, but a lot of energy.
Steal there by Carter. Another turnover for the Knights. Kamau driving to the basket, drops it off to the big 6'7" freshman, and Coleman scores to give Frostburg the lead back at 25-23.
Another timeout by Coach Caputo, starting to feel like the game might be slipping away from his team, so he stops the game, stops the momentum of the Bobcats, and tries to refocus his Knights.
Been a game of runs, Mike. The Knights trailed early by 8, 12-4, jumped on top. After that technical, took a 5-point lead. Now they're down by 2.
Yeah, and again, it's all about pace of play, and it looks like the Bobcats have really sped the Knights up in the last 2 or 3 minutes for them to take this lead. We see that the Bobcats like to score within the first 10, 15 seconds, especially the drive and kick, and with Michael out there, he's deadly from anywhere.
As far as the Knights are concerned, Justin Langford having a great first half, but not a whole lot offensively beyond Justin Langford, at least so far here in the first half.
Yeah, and if they start to collapse on Justin Langford or anybody in the post, because we saw Ben Canterbury come in and use his wide body to get a easy shot. Once they start collapsing, now the three-point shooting is going to have to come up in order to ease some of that pressure.
And that would be Walker and Hosier if he's in the game.
Yeah, Hosier came in.
David Beatty's kind of struggled here in the first half.
Yeah, he's tried to force a lot of the action. We saw that, when he plays within the confines of the offense and stays within himself, he can be a deadly threat inside and outside. Sometimes, though, he lets his exuberance take him away, and he tries to go 1 against 3.
And usually that'll result in a turnover.
Yeah, and we've seen way too many times this whole season, both men and women, what live ball turnovers can do. They lead to layups on the other end.
So the Knights, again, down here 25-23 to Frostburg. Again, in the first game, the women's contest, the Knights able to grab the victory, 70-65 over Frostburg women's team.
Great win for them. Hopefully this, again, will catapult them into the second part of the conference season.
Because really both the men and women's team for here, the Southern Virginia University, they have deceiving records, Mike. A lot of tough losses on their ledger.
A lot of tough losses. And same thing for Frostburg women. You look at them at being 0 and 12, 0 and 13, and you think, oh, it's going to be an easy game.
Yep.
But a lot of their losses have been by 7, 8 points.
Pass inside to Langford. Nothing there. Back out to Mosley. Shot clock down to 5. Mosley tries a runner. No good. Tipped up by the Knights. No, it wouldn't go in. And Coleman grabs the rebound.
And you can see how they collapsed down on Justin as soon as he touched the ball.
Michael misses the shot, but there's Coleman for the follow. He is fouled. They're going to send him to the foul line. He missed his 2 first foul shots badly. So I would imagine anytime he grabs a rebound, they're going to hammer him.
Yeah, instead of giving up a dunk, which he looks like he could do very easily, it looks like they're going to play Hacka Coleman.
Yep, and he got the first foul shot to go. So he's 1 of 3 from the foul line now.
Hey, and that's the best way to keep him from fouling you is to step to the free throw line and stick it.
My guess is they'll keep fouling him.
I think so. Sometimes averages catch up to you.
And he got them both. After that air ball, the last time, he was able to hit 2 to make it a 4-point lead now for Frostburg.
So he's right at his season average now.
50%. Now the Knights need a basket to try to stop this Frostburg run. Beatty dribbling between defenders. Gives it over and stolen away by Carter. Carter ahead to Michael. Free for a layup, and he lays it up and in. 6-point lead now for Frostburg. Knights had a 21-16 lead, and now it's a 13-2 run by the Bobcats. Larson open for a 3. He'll fire and miss.
And I don't know if you necessarily want him shooting threes, but no one else is out there to shoot them, so.
Carter going baseline. Jump shot is good by Jarrell Carter. Good hang time with the defender right in his face. And now it is an 8-point lead again for Frostburg.
And it looks like they've solved the riddle of the zone that the Knights have been playing. Coach Caputo may want to think about going to a different defense in this last minute and a half of the first half to try to slow them down a little bit.
The Knights really need some baskets here in the final minute and 40 seconds. Mike, they don't want to go into halftime double-digit down.
Yeah, they need to stay within 8 points or less.
Larson to Beatty. Shot clock's at 4. It'll be Walker with a jump shot. He misses. Rebound to Coleman. Here comes Frostburg. All the way Patrick. Lays it up and in, and he is fouled by Walker. And it's a chance at a 3-point play now for Frostburg. Well, it looked like Patrick put Walker on his backside and kept him there and really drew the contact and was able to get the free throw.
He did. He put him in jail and kept him in jail. And Patrick, for a point guard, has a very strong body.
6 foot, but he is extremely stocky too.
He is, and very quick. I mean, to look at him, you think, go, well, Kevin Walker can stay up with him, but he put, like you said, put him on his backside and kept him on his backside all the way down the floor and drew the contact, but strong enough to put the ball in the basket.
And so, Mike, it is a 17-2 run now by Frostburg. They were down after that technical 21-16, and now they're on top by 10.
And it's all because of pace of play. They are very fast. They're very confident in shooting the threes. They like to drive and kick. We suggested maybe Coach Caputo go to a different type of defense, but I don't know if they would play man-to-man, that the drive and kick wouldn't even work better. So it's a catch-22 situation.
And it does look to be after that technical that Frostburg, they argued about it, and then they got together as a group as the 5 players on the floor and just seemed to kind of renew their dedication.
And sometimes that's what a technical does for you. It kind of refocuses you. They looked kind of lackadaisical when they were starting to lose to the Knights, and all of a sudden after that, they kind of, the refocus and the energy came back to them. Maybe the Knights need to get a technical foul call on them to get them fired up.
But who knows? Here's Patrick trying to complete the 3-point play. And it would give his team an 11-point lead, and he misses. What a rebound to Frostburg. Kamal's got it.
That's one of the cardinal sins of basketball, is giving up a
Walker knocks the ball away from Michael and knocks it off of Michael out of bounds. So good defense by Kevin Walker to get the ball back for the Knights.
Yeah, Michael's going to be a great player for the Bobcats, but as a freshman, you can look at his body compared to the rest of them, and he's got a little filling out to do.
Well, sometimes those three-point threats, they shoot good threes, and that's about it.
Yeah.
At least early on.
He'll learn, and as he gets stronger, he'll become more of a threat.
Langford fadeaway. He misses an open 10-footer. Rebound to Frostburg. Tough miss for Justin Langford, who's had a good first half.
That's imperative that the Knights really buckle down on defense now. Allow Frostburg only one shot and then take care of the ball on the other end and go in no further down than they are right now.
See what the Bobcats will do with it. And Michael misses the shot from outside. Had the pass comes to Dragnich. And the pass off the hands of Beatty out of bounds. It goes over to Frostburg. Knights were trying to fast break when they had a chance there, Mike, to play for the last shot of the half.
And again, you're down double digits. You never want to go in if you have a chance to go down even more than 10. You know, it looked like the fast break was there, but this is one of those growing instances that they'll learn from.
Now Frostburg a chance to play for the last shot with the shot clock off and the game clock down to 5 seconds now. Ball out of bounds, last touch by the Knights, so it's still Frostburg basketball. They lead here by 10, 33-23.
And they need to really watch Michael coming off some screens now.
Carter inbounding to Patrick. Patrick down the lane, jump shot no good. And that's it for the first half as Frostburg will go into the locker room, Mike, with a 10-point lead here, 33-23. Knights really struggled in the last 8-9 minutes. They led 21-16, and now Frostburg 17-2 later, a 17-2 run, and they've got the big lead here at halftime by 10 points.
And again, pace of play really favored the Bobcats in the last 12 minutes of the game. They got the fast breaks going and the drive and kick game going, and they just really prospered at it. The Knights were starting to get some great things on the inside, but nothing else from the outside, so the zone from the Bobcats started to collapse, and no one else stepped up.
Knights have had a couple of tough misses inside. Justin Langford had a good first half. Neufeld picked up those fouls. He disappeared. He went to the bench. And the Knights, David Beatty tried to get things done, but he drew a lot of turnovers. And so the Knights are trying to find some offense beyond Justin Langford.
Yeah, and again, it has to be, as we talked about before, a team-oriented offense and not I'm going to step up and do this. Everybody just has to give just a little bit more, just a half a percentage more to make up for what they've been missing from the first half of the year.
So again, the Knights here down by 10 at halftime. It's 33-23. Frostburg leads the Southern Virginia University Knights here in the men's contest from the Knight Sports Arena. We'll take a little break here at halftime and come back for the second half in just a few minutes, so stay with us. Welcome back to the Night Sports Arena. Jim Bresnahan joined here by Mike Harmon as we get ready to bring you the second half action of the men's contest as Frostburg leads Southern Virginia at halftime. Mike, 33-23. What kind of second half can we expect from the Knights?
Well, again, they need to keep on going inside, but they got to find a complement, at least a 15 to 18-foot jump shooter to alleviate some of the pressure on those inside players. Also, they got to do better in transition defense, getting back and covering up not only the drive but the three-point shooters.
So perhaps Langford had a good first half, and he was pretty effective from 15 to 18 at times, but obviously you need 2 or 3 more like him.
Yeah, you just can't have one person. And he was not only effective from 15 to 18, but also on the inside, down low within 2 to 3 feet. Every time that it looked like our post players touched the ball, they were being swarmed by the Bobcats, and then there was no one really to alleviate that pressure. We saw Cody Hosier, but just for a few seconds.
Right. Got 1 3-point attempt off, and that was about it.
That was it. We haven't seen, David Beatty hadn't got any three-point shots off. We saw that Kevin Walker got one off, but not a great one. I don't know where the three-point shooting is really going to come for the Knights.
Inside, Michael Newfield picked up a couple of fouls early, and he disappeared. Didn't play a whole lot of minutes in that first half. It was really a strange first half. Frostburg got off to a great start, jumped on top 12-4. Knights battled back. After a technical, they actually had a 5-point lead, 21-16. And yet then that big run by Frostburg as they were able to outscore the Knights 17-2 down the stretch.
And it appeared that the technical really enthused and inflamed the Bobcats, refocused them to get back into their running game, because before that they were kind of slowing down, trying to play a half-court game with the Knights, and that's what the Knights really wanted. After that, the tempo and the pace picked up, and we just saw them go on that run that really put them to the 10-point lead.
In the women's contest in game number 1 of the doubleheader against Southern Virginia, getting their first home victory of the year, knocking off Frostburg 70-65.
It was great to see them get that win. Free throw shooting would have done a whole lot more to increase that margin of victory. And
but
I know
now, as Heather Roberts said, now her team has the experience of playing with the lead in the last few minutes, so they know more about what to do when it comes to handling the ball and shooting foul shots.
Yeah, and again, we talked about that. They haven't played with the lead in a very long time, especially in a close game. So again, that experience helps not only your team, but it helps Coach Roberts too to coach in that kind of close game. And then, like I said, I'm sure that in another close game, she had a few timeouts that she could have burned a little bit more to slow her team down and not let those turnovers happen that really let the Bobcats hang around.
And you had a chance just a second ago to talk to Tatiana Monson, who was, of course, a key player for you and for this Knights women's basketball team the last couple of years.
Yeah, Tatiana has a foot problem from her last 2 or 3
Plays
games.
other sports, too.
Has a foot problem from her last 2 or 3 games of soccer.
Yep.
And really went home, had to walk around in a boot. Really doesn't have any kind of explosiveness and is not supposed to be running at all.
I was trying to picture Tatiana and Belliston on the floor.
Oh, that would be a very quick team. I don't know if a lot of teams would have a speed advantage over the Knights then if those two were out on the floor at the same time.
Frostburg opening up the second half of the ball, and immediately a turnover for the Bobcats.
And a good defensive start for the Knights. Come out and get that turnover right away. Now let's see what kind of adjustments they made on the offensive end.
And the Knights again down by 10 as we start the second half action. 5 on the floor, Mosley, also Walker. There's also Newfield out there. Now Mosley's got a baseline. Larson and Beatty also in the starting 5. Walker with a great shot.
And a block.
And he scores, a chance at a 3-point play. Walker did a great job angling away from the defender at the last second to get that shot off.
And they came out in a little matchup zone that the Knights recognized really well to work it around and find that soft spot, just like the women did, find that soft spot around the free throw line and then attack the basket.
Walker's foul shot no good. Missed badly on that foul shot, a little too strong, and lead stays at 8. Smoot got it to Kamau, over to Carter. Frostburg's offense really kind of spread around in that first half, although Michael had a couple of threes.
Yeah, they're a very balanced team and a very opportunistic team. They believe that anybody can score at any time on their team.
And inside, Kamau misses. Fouled. on Nuffield. He quickly picks up foul number 3.
This is something that Michael really has to work on in practice, and the coaches are really going to have to demand even better excellence that he plays without fouling.
Yeah, otherwise you're just not going to get a lot of minutes.
And
because they're going to be sitting on the bench in foul trouble.
Yeah, and he really has the ability to help the Knights down low, and even that mid-range jump shot we were talking about earlier.
Now hits the first one. The 6'4" senior hits them both. 10-point lead again for the Bobcats. And backcourt pressure by Frostburg. Trying to get a Southern Virginia turnover. Beatty trying to get across the timeline. Triple team, got it over to Walker. Walker darts it over to Larson, and his pass over to Beatty. Beatty left side baseline, jump shot, left it short. Rebound Frostburg.
You know, I like to see David go straight up. He's such an athletic person, and he can jump so high.
Kamau
he doesn't need to
all
really
the way scores.
fade away.
Boy, wow, what a drive by Kamau.
Again, we talked earlier about defensive transition has to be better for the Knights, and we just saw it. The Knights not getting back and being very lax.
Pass by Mosley is picked away. Another turnover for the Knights, and Frostburg turns it right back over on a fast break attempt.
Almost like a monkey see, monkey do situation there.
You know, you talked about Beatty a little bit, and sometimes he looks like he can't decide whether he wants to pull up for the jumper or drive it.
Yeah, and again, we talked earlier in the women's game about being more decisive, and that indecision causes a lot of problems. If David would just pull up for that jump shot instead of going in between, he'd have a whole lot more success.
Mosley is double teamed on the right side. Works his way out of it. Mosley, left side in the corner. Now a double team there. And Frostburg steals the ball away. Carter goes all the way. He puts it up, and he can't get the roll. And the rebound to Walker.
And the Knights are going to be aware that if they throw the ball into the corner, there could come a trap.
Beatty is fouled by Smoot. Non-shooting foul. Knights are down by 12 here. They trailed by 10 at halftime. They actually had a 5-point lead in the first half. But since they had that 5-point lead at 21-16, they have been outscored and only scored 4 points since then. And there's a steal by Frostburg. Powell's got it. He's 1-on-2, drops it back to Goodman, and he knifes through defenders and scores. And now the lead is 14.
You know, and the Knights look very robotic right now, just making the pass to make the pass and not because it's open.
Knights will be playing a doubleheader at Wesley on Saturday, then back home against Christopher Newport a week from tonight. Beatty, right corner. Knights need a basket, down by 14 points. Beatty lost the ball trying to get through defenders. Nuffield picks up the loose ball, swings it over to Mosley. Shot clock's at 5. Larson's pass to Nuffield's batted away. Might be a shot clock violation. Beatty fires and hits. Boy, they just got it away, and Beatty hits a big three-pointer. They're going to call it a 2. It's 39-27. Pass inside to Campbell. Hook shot, good off the glass.
And that was just way too easy. Newfield doesn't have anything to do but play behind him and can't foul, or else he'll be coming out of the game.
And Frostburg jumps that lead back to 14. Walker had thinking about a 3. He throws the ball away. Powell's got the loose ball. He goes all the way, puts it up off the glass. No travel call, missed the shot. Rebound Frostburg, and a foul on Walker. Now they're going to call it a Nuffield. That will be his 4th. Walker raised up his hand like he was going to get it.
Yeah, Walker's trying to take it away. They say that Nuffield grabbed the shirt, and you know this is Ben Michaels' MO, just not being able to really stay in the game long enough to do anything good for the Knights.
And Cale Thornton will go in to replace him. Tough night for Nuffield. Just not a lot of minutes tonight. First foul shot by Smoot is up and in. Smoot, a 5'10 junior. And he gives his team a 15-point lead now. Biggest lead of the night by either team tonight so far.
You know, and just like in practice, you can practice on not turning the ball over. You can also demand in practice not fouling. And I think that Coach Caputo and his staff are probably going to really focus on that the next couple of days to make sure that people stay out on the floor.
Smoot's second shot, good again. And it's a 16-point lead now for Frostburg. Backcourt pressure by the Bobcats. And the pass up court hits the sideline and goes out of bounds before it gets to Thornton. That's another turnover for Southern Virginia. Mike, it's just amazing the way this game has really completely turned around since the Knights had that 21-16 lead.
Yeah, again, pace of play, the confidence that the Bobcats are really exuding, and then the Knights look, like I said, like they're just playing robotically, not really playing basketball, but playing to play a play. And when you do that in this conference, you're scouted so well that the defense will run out into the passing lanes, and we've seen evidence of that with layups going to the other end.
Outscored 27-6 since they had that 5-point lead back in the first half.
You know, and we knew that the Knights were going to have offensive troubles, but I never imagined that they would have this much trouble.
And with 15:59 to go in the basketball game, down by 16 points, it's not quite to the point of maybe a crucial situation, but it's getting there.
Well, I think it is kind of a crucial situation. They need to score, you know, in the next 3 or 4 possessions. They need to get at least 3 scores in the next 4 possessions, and they need to limit Frostburg to 1 score, or else Frostburg can really just extend that lead, and we've seen how quickly they can extend the lead.
Knights are actually 2 out of 3 in the second half shooting the basketball. They've just had too many turnovers.
Yeah, way too many turnovers, which we've seen lead to fast breaks. And
17 turnovers for the game, and David Beatty has 6 of those.
You know, and that's way too many. Again, just not really carelessness with the ball, but just not being aggressive with the ball and being sure with what you want to do. Again, like you said, getting caught in between.
And sometimes, as you were saying earlier, and it's been a problem since Eaton and Evans went down, basically just trying to put the team on your shoulder and do it all by yourself, or trying to do as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, and that's where really having to trust your own teammates comes into play.
Powell goes baseline, back outside to Smoot for a 3, and he hits it. And usually this is the way it's gone for the Knights when they've gotten behind and really fallen behind. It's just kind of spiraled out of control, and now Frostburg is starting to hit, and now they've got a 19-point lead.
Yeah, and again, Frostburg really figured out the zone Knights played in the first half. The Knights have continued to play that zone, and offensively, the Knights look a little bit confused with the zone that the Bobcats are playing.
Cody Hosier out there along with Walker, Thornton, Beatty. And it goes to Hosier, left corner, and he can't hit the 3. Rebound Thornton, shot blocked by Campbell. Loose ball picked up by Carter, all the way, lays it up and in. It's a 21-point lead now for Frostburg.
You know, and again, when Frostburg can get out and run and get those quick transition points, they are just one of the better teams that we've seen.
Frostburg came in 7-8 on the season and 3-5 in the conference. That'll tell you something about this conference, Mike, when you got a team as talented as Frostburg and they're middle of the pack.
Yeah, it's you look at the top of the conference with Marymount, Christopher Newport, and St. Mary's, and those teams always are vying to go to the NCAA tournament and make deep runs into it. Frostburg just, you know, has the unfortunate well, they're just unfortunate to be in this conference with those 3 teams. I mean, you have to play out of your mind all the time to beat them.
Another fast break out to Carter, and he tried to jam it and missed the jam. And Frostburg is able to get the follow shot from Goodman. 50-27, 23-point lead now.
Runouts are just killing the Knights.
And they've been outscored here quickly in the second half, Mike, 17-4 now. Trailed by 10 at halftime, now down by 23. Pass inside to Thornton. Not a good pass. Stolen away by Frostburg. Pass up court. Walker tried to grab it. And Walker picks up the foul.
At least he stopped the fast break, but again, not good passing angles for the Knights, and they're forcing things. This really looks like a team that, like you said, when they spiral downward fast, and they look really out of it out there.
And there's a good pass inside to Campbell by Smoot. who makes the shot and is fouled, and a chance at a three-point play. It's not only a matter of spiraling on their end, but it just seems like the other team senses it, and then they pick up a lot of momentum.
Well, in this conference, and it's one of the best conferences, not only basketball-wise, but all sports-wise, they're trained. When they smell blood, they're going to take advantage of it, and they don't care who you are or what your problems may be.
Here's Thornton shooting off the glass and hitting. So Cale Thornton, the 6'7" freshman center, scores to break that streak by Frostburg. It's a 23-point ball game at 52-29. Powell had his pocket picked by Walker. Walker tries to go all the way. And a shot by Langford. And a chance here at a three-point play as Langford scores. Foul called inside on Frostburg. On Campbell. That'll be his third.
And so the Knights are trying to make a mini run of their own. Again, it really for the Knights has to start on the defensive end. We know that they struggle a little bit on the offensive end, and they're going to put a few points and runs together, but they cannot allow teams to make those runs against them.
Knights working on a little streak here as Langford hits the foul shot to narrow the margin down to 20 with just 13-17 to go.
And with as fast as the Bobcats like to play, if the Knights can really put some defensive stops together, they have plenty of time to come back.
Yeah, Frostburg definitely better in the running gun offense than in the half-court offense. Coleman got the rebound on the missed shot by Michael, and the 6'7" freshman missed the shot, got fouled, and he'll go to the foul line to shoot two. He's 2 of 4 from the foul line tonight.
And we'll see if he stays with his 50% average.
Of course, that second free throw was an air ball now.
Yes, it's true.
Probably the worst free throw we've seen all season, I would imagine.
I think that he may have won that so far.
And he was able to hit that one. So he's made 3 in a row. Kyle Dragic checking back in for the Knights.
Again, a lot of shuffling in and out of players for the Knights. Tells you that Coach Caputo's really not comfortable with anybody out there.
Trying to find that combination, and it may vary game to game as the shot is missed and the rebound goes to Frostburg. Here's Smoot. Well, Michael, who's got a couple of threes tonight. Smoot's also got one. Smoot's going to fire another one and miss. And Beatty with a rebound. Beatty trying to go all the way. He lost the ball, got it back, puts it up and in.
Again, you know, it's great that the Knights have scored, but you want to look at David Beatty and tell him, hey, 1 against 3, not good odds.
Patrick lost the ball. Steal by the Knights.
There we go. Good defensive stop by the Knights.
Knights trying to work this 19-point lead down to 16 or 17. Dragic outside to Walker. Dragic on the right side to the foul line. Gives it off to Langford. Langford spins, shoots the foul line, jumper and hits. And now the Knights have gotten it down to 17.
You know, and Justin's played really well in spurts. It seems like sometimes when he starts to get tired, his energy level starts to fall. That's when the shots come up short. If I was Coach Caputo, I'd make sure that I kept him as fresh as possible. Let him play 3 or 4 minutes and then let him rest for a minute and get him back in.
And now the Knights are on 9-1 run. And I believe they're going to call a foul on Beatty along the baseline as Kamau made a move on him. So Beatty picks up the foul call. Non-shooting foul. Frostburg will take it out of bounds.
Again, in the half courts where we saw Frostburg struggle the most.
Michael off the inbounds pass from the baseline scores. Basket there stops the streak by the Knights. It's now a 19-point lead again for Frostburg. Dragic the other way. He's fouled. Going to be on Smoot. Smoot will check out along with Coleman. Campbell And Carter back into the game. Now Newfield will check back in with 4 fouls, replacing Thornton. Dragnich out there along with Walker, Beatty, also Langford, and Newfield.
Again, some great inside plays.
And a great pass by Walker over to Newfield. That might be his first basket, I believe.
It's his first basket.
Had 2 quick fouls tonight in the first half, 2 in the second half, 4 overall. Not a whole lot of minutes. Carter dribbling down the lane, had the ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Knights.
Again, Knights have to look for a quick score off their inbounds play of the Bobcats. If they can force them to make 3 or 4 passes, that's when they've had their best success defensively.
Patrick inbounding. And we got a foul called on Frostburg. An illegal pick, I believe, will be the call against Campbell. That's going to be his 4th foul. Must have set a moving pick to try to spring an open man on the inbounds pass. And so a break for the Knights.
And again, as we said before, it starts on the defensive end for the Knights. Defensive transition, making the Bobcats make 4 or 5 passes, slows them down, and really ultimately causes some major problems.
Newfield ran over Campbell, who's going to pick up the foul. Newfield just fouled out of the game. I believe they called a charge on Newfield. That was a guy with 4 fouls going against a guy with 4 fouls.
Yeah,
somebody wasn't going to leave the game, and it's going to be Newfield fouling out.
And that's where Michael needs to just learn to go straight up. Don't have to go into the basket. He was wide open, 5-foot jump shot. Go straight up and put it in.
Now, you don't usually see guys with 4 fouls driving to the basket like that.
Exactly, especially when they know that will be coming out for the rest of the game. And Michael really didn't have enough chance to work up a sweat in this game.
Just had the 1 basket, I believe. So it's 55-38. They'll have to reset the game clock, it looks like, by a few seconds. And we're ready to go. 17-point lead here by Frostburg with 10:35 left in the ballgame.
Well, still plenty of time, only 17 points down. They can get within 10 before the 8-minute mark. They'll be doing great.
Kamau with a nice hook shot over Langford. Kamau looks like he might be Frostburg, if they've got a best player, maybe their best player.
Yeah, he seems to be very solid down low.
Thornton lost the ball. Langford's got it back. He puts it up, and he can't hit it. And Beatty tried to jam it in, missed it. Ahead the pass comes to Michael, and he lays it in the other way.
Again, defensive transition. All the Knights going to the backboard. No one got back to guard against that fast break.
21-point lead now by Frostburg after the Knights had worked it down to 17. Thornton's got it near the foul line. Dragnich off to Mosley. It'll be Dragnich going baseline. He is shut off. Gives it over to Thornton, puts it up and in. Nice pass, and Thornton scores. He's got a couple of baskets tonight. Pass down the other way to Carter. He is fouled. He will go to the foul line to shoot 2, and Carter again sneaks behind the Knights defense.
Yeah, and there's no excuse for that, Jim. That's just lackadaisical defense by the Knights. They scored. Looks like they're, we're celebrating and having a great time. We scored, and then give up a layup on the other end or a layup attempt.
19-point lead by Frostburg right now with 9:27 to go. Carter, 6'3" junior. And he is able to make the first shot to give Frostburg a 20-point lead.
Ibrahim Mulabah checks in for the first time this year with us for Justin Langford.
Second shot on the way, good, 21-point lead. So Tony Caputo really looking for the right combination right now, Mike.
Yeah, and this is the time to do it.
Pass to Thornton's picked away by Carter. Down the lane goes Kamau, and he misses. And another foul called on the Knights.
And when you look at the faces of the Frostburg Bobcats versus the faces of the Knights, you can see night and day. There's exuberance and jubilation on the Bobcats. The Knights still dazed and looking dazed and confused of what's just happened to us.
Now, it's going to be tough, as we mentioned, the next 3 ball games. They've got Wesley, who's got a comparable record to Frostburg, and then Christopher Newport next Wednesday night, an 11-4 ball club, and then Salisbury, that's a team with a 9-6 record. So, again, a tough road to hoe for Tony Caputo over the next week and a half.
Yeah, and 2 of those games are away, and you know, you almost start out 10 points down when you go to someone else's gym, and starting out 10 points down to Salisbury and Christopher Newport is not good.
Yeah, Christopher Newport, one of those universities where they've got a very good men's and women's team usually every year.
Yeah, they just got a very good athletic program there, and that's just to commend their athletic program, that they always seem to be very, very good. Their softball program has gone to the NCAA tournament several times, and I saw them in the World Series down in Roanoke 2 years ago.
Dalton Goss, freshman guard, just into the game for Frostburg, picked up that foul. Mulaball will go ahead and inbounds with 9 minutes to go.
You know, and I would expect that if this lead stays where it is, we'll see a lot of new players for both teams.
Knights down by 23. They trailed by 10 at halftime, led by 5 in the first half. Here's Thornton down low. Baseline jumper good. He's got 6, I believe. Lead is 21.
And he just overpowered Goss. Again, Goss looks like to be a freshman, and he needs to fill out a lot.
He's only 6'4". And Thornton is 6'7". Reverse layup up and in by Goss to make it 65-42. It's a 23-point lead right now for Frostburg. Mosley in the corner, over to Beatty. Beatty forces the jump shot, rims out. Rebound, Carter's got it. Fast breaks it the other way. All the way to Goodman, shot no good. Rebound Beatty. And the Knights will break back the other way. Beatty weaving through traffic. Shot off the glass and good. No foul called. Possibly a 3-point play, but Beatty is able to hit the shot after getting the contact and makes the basket.
You know, and sometimes when you hit the floor so many times, the referees just think you're flopping or trying to influence their calls.
Back the other way, Jarrell Carter, the 6'3 junior, scores to make it 67-44. Teams are trading baskets right now. Mosley misses. Rebound. Patrick, fast break. There's Michael all by himself. Jams it in.
You know, and again, defensive transition just is, it looks like a word that the Knights really don't know right now. You know, and I know that's got to be very frustrating to Coach Caputo and everybody on his staff and to the players themselves, but they just really look lost.
Yeah, so is it just the people who are supposed to be back defensively not recognizing it, or is it a matter of effort, Mike? Because, you know, you see a guy get a rebound, look down court, there's a guy at the other end near the foul line just waiting for the ball.
Well, right now, Frostburg is sending a flyer. Anytime a shot goes up, they're checking and then flying down the floor. The Knights really are trying to send a lot of people to the backboard, and if they miss the shot, get the offensive rebound and put it back in, but they're leaving the backcourt wide open. Anytime their point guard, Emmett Mosley or Kevin Walker, drives, there's no one rotating back to take up the defensive presence, and it's just leading to layup or dunk attempts.
And you look at the second half numbers. Again, the Knights shooting pretty well as a team here in the second half. 10 of 17, 59% shooting in the second half, but Frostburg is 13 of 19. And just under 70%, and they are hitting 46% from the field for the ball game, whereas the Knights are 40.4%. Knights have 20 turnovers. Frostburg has 12, and Frostburg has a pretty decent-sized rebounding edge right now, Mike, 36-28 over Southern Virginia.
Yeah, they got a 15-point lead in the three-point shots, and, you know, it's easy to shoot 68% when you got a lot of layups and dunks.
on the offensive end.
Not to mention the fact that the Knights have only tried 8 free throws here tonight, and Frostburg is 14 of 22 from the foul line.
Yeah, that disparity, will really start to wear on you. And it's doing it for the Knights right now.
Well, right now it is a 25-point lead here for Frostburg, 69 to 44. And Mulabaw's got it outside for the Knights. And Mulabaugh, the freshman, playing his first minutes here at the Knight Sports Arena. Goes over to Walker. Walker is going to be fouled on his way to the basket. He tried to get the shot off, couldn't. He's fouled. Walker will go to the foul line to shoot 2 with his team down by 25 with 7:04 to go.
It looks like they're calling it before the shot attempt, Jim, and so there's going to be a 1-and-1.
So it will be a 1-on-1 coming up here for Kevin Walker, as the foul was called on Goodman. That's his 4th. He was another guy who picked up 2 quick fouls, and Walker's foul shot is up and good. Goodman picked up a couple of fouls in the first half, sat down. Now he's got his 4th foul. Walker, one more foul shot coming, and he got them both. And so Walker, kind of a meek night here. That's just his 4th point. He's got a couple of free throws and 1 basket.
You know, and it looks like one of the biggest differences between Frostburg and the Knights. Frostburg drives to look to score, and then if they happen to not have it, pass the ball out. Then if the Knights drive, it looks like they're trying to drive to make the pass out.
69-46 right now. It's a 23-point lead for Frostburg. And they were on top at halftime, 33-23. Inbounds pass, Patrick against Mosley. Works it across the timeline. 6:55 to go in the ball game.
It appears like the Knights have changed their defense to a man-to-man to try something new.
This would be tough to recover from, Mike. This Frostburg home loss, especially as you mentioned, going on the road to Wesley coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
Still searching for that right combination,
yeah,
which could vary night by night.
They're really searching, and you can tell that it's starting to wear on them. The coaching staff for the Knights really have to find something that they can hang their hat on and say, we did this well and we're going to do this even better, and just start building on those solid foundations.
You know, and you can't write off the season with the departure of Preston Eaton, Wes Evans, and Kaleo Manuela. Obviously thinking, you're going to get a lot of these good players next season and really look ahead to next season, because you still have a lot of talent on this team.
A lot of talent and still a lot of time in the conference. If you can put a little run together, you may not make it to the conference playoffs, but you can be that dark horse spoiler that no one wants to play because you can knock them out of the playoffs also. So
Not to mention, with Eaton and Evans off the roster, you don't have any seniors left on that roster now.
Exactly. So all this is great experience for them. Again, the coaching staff, Tony Caputo and Coach Winslow, really do a good job trying to make sure that they stress the positive. We did this well, and we're going to do this even better. And then there's a lot of issues that they can work on as far as the negatives, trying to make them a little bit better.
A lot of back and forth right now. Getting to be like the NBA here with this 23-point ball game. As Frostburg couldn't score, the Knights came right back and they turned the ball over.
Yeah, and that doesn't play into the Knights' wheelhouse at all. That's what Frostburg wants to do. That's what they're good at. The Knights really need to execute as well as possible in order to manufacture shots.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to picture Frostburg going into some sort of delay game, using the full time off the shot clock type of offense to eat the clock away.
No,
pass up court is thrown away.
And I don't know if we'll see that until like the last 2 minutes. New players will come in and they'll still try to run their system. This is better than practice for them. They get to go against somebody else. When you play against people that you practice against all the time, they know what you're doing. They know your tendencies. So when we see new players come in, Frostburg will keep on running their stuff, not to run the score up,
right,
but to practice
and
get better.
Give some guys who don't get a lot of minutes some playing time.
Exactly. And you can't fault anybody for that.
Austin Wood, Aaron Rimbaugh into the game now for the Knights, who forced the turnover and get the ball back. So you got Roomba out there along with Mullaball, also Austin Wood and Mosley and Thornton.
And this is a combination that we haven't seen ever, but this is great experience for them. And if they can gain some experience and show Coach Caputo, hey, I got some things I can do to help, this will be great for them.
And Mullaball will go to the foul line because he is fouled by Goss. He'll shoot 2.
And Brahim is a great soccer player, really great soccer body. And if he uses that same aggressiveness he had on the soccer field on the basketball floor, I would expect to see some really good things from him.
I don't know. He's kind of, to me, kind of like a little running back body, too.
Yeah. Well, when soccer players that you play against are usually like 5'7", 5'8", and then he comes out at his 6'3", 6'4",
right,
and very broad-shouldered, he can play a lot of havoc out there.
Got a couple of free throws to go to make it 69-48. .1 lead. Michael to Patrick. Over to Carter. Jump shot, no good. Rebound, Thornton. Mosley up court in a hurry. He goes through a couple of defenders, and the 6'7" Coleman blocks him. Loose ball picked up by the Knights. Wood's shot is no good. Rebound tipped to Mosley. Great pass to Thornton. Couldn't get the shot to go.
3 great chances at it. We're seeing a lot of fight in these young men that are out there on the floor right now. This has got, to please Coach Caputo, the score doesn't, but the effort that these young kids are given has to be very gratifying.
No, the Knights haven't given up, that's for sure. A lot of energy. Maybe sometimes, as you mentioned, Mike, sometimes there's too much energy. Everybody crashes the board, nobody back defensively as Patrick scores.
Yeah, there needs to be some role definition that everybody understands. This is my job, and I have to do this job. If I go outside of it, I can put my team at detriment.
23-point lead. Mullaball is going to fire an outside jumper, no good. Almost tipped in by Roomball, but he couldn't get it to go. And finally, Frostburg comes away with the basketball.
And this is Frostburg going slow right now.
Slower than usual.
Yeah. The game's well in hand. They're going to work on some things that they may have to
and
use.
A three-pointer by Michael.
They're angling for a position in the conference tournament, and when you have to run a certain set to make sure you score in the last few seconds, you have to work on that stuff not only in practice but in game situations.
And I believe the top 6 makes
the top 6 make it.
And right now, Frostburg came in 3-5, and York was 3-5, and Mary Washington was 3-5. So maybe a good battle down the stretch for that 6th spot.
Yeah, there's a 3-way tie for those last spots there.
So Frostburg obviously really needed this game.
They really need this game. Just the Knights really need the game. But we're seeing why Frostburg is working for that last spot in the conference tournament.
Kind of hard to differentiate, you would think, between York, Frostburg, and maybe Mary Washington.
Yeah, we've seen Mary Washington, and we've seen now we're seeing Frostburg, and they play similarly, very up and down the court. Mary Washington plays a little bit more man-to-man than Frostburg has, but just really great athletes, and when the shooters get on target, we've seen them just hit.
Of course, the Knights saw York over the weekend on Saturday, lost that game 79-51. They'll see them at home on February the 14th.
Yeah, and nice effort to get on the floor.
Cody Hosier's got it over to Roomball. Wild shot, no good. Couldn't get it to go. And Wood tracks down the rebound. Baseline shot is rejected out of bounds by the 6'7" freshman Coleman.
And that's 6'1" against 6'7", but Austin didn't show any fear whatsoever. He was going to put his shot up with the same arc that he normally does. Aaron Roomba, it would been nice to see him go in and go to the basket strong instead of trying to do a little dipsy-doodle.
77-48, 29-point lead for Frostburg. Inbounds pass, Langford couldn't get the shot to go. Coleman comes away with the rebound. Off to Ryan Lynch. Well, Samuel Smith, another freshman, into the game, and outside the jump shot is good by Christopher Costin, a 6'2" freshman. 32-point lead.
Seeing the reserves for Frostburg, they're coming in, they're really fired up and jacked up, and look to be just as good as the starters.
Here's Roomball from outside. He can't hit. Tipped outside. Ball on the floor. Roomball's got it. Hosier to Langford inside scores. 80-50, 30-point ball game. Long three outside is up and no good by Dalton Goss. Yeah, arguably the worst shot taken all night long.
Yeah, but when you got a 30-point lead, you can kind of laugh about it, right? Until you get to the
usually
film
when
section.
you're 8 feet, behind the arc, you can say, "Hey, an open shot. Come on."
Yeah, heat check. The coaches, they'll laugh about it a little bit tonight, but when they get in film session tomorrow, that'll be one of the things that they'll bring out. Don't ever do again.
Here's Wood to Roomball. Little opening. Nice pass to Thornton. He scores again. I believe he's got about 8 now. And it's 80-52. $28-point lead for Frostburg. Lynch along the baseline scores to build the lead back to 30 with just a minute to go in the ballgame. And the other way, a slam dunk by Thornton. How about Thornton? He's actually had a pretty good second half, the 6'7" freshman center.
He has. We haven't seen him play a lot, and now,
You wonder if he'll start to get a few more minutes.
He's got a very wide body. Looks like he has nice touch around the rim and got some good hops there.
Of course, Tony Caputo, I'm sure, is looking for consistency night in, night out. Not just a hot game at home, like Cody Hosier had a few weeks ago. He would love to see these guys, Hosier, Thornton, and just to name a few, have a consistent ball games, game in, game out.
Yeah, and
which is asking a lot, obviously.
But a lot of that starts in practice too, and we're not privy to see all the practices and everything. But this has given Coach Caputo and Coach Winslow a lot of thought.
Thornton scores again on the fast break. 82-57, just 35 seconds to go in the game. And they call a foul in the backcourt on Wood. Well, by my count, Thornton's got at least 12, maybe 14 points for the ball game.
And again, he looks a lot different in the second half than he did in the first half.
And a lot of his points, a lot of his efforts have come against the number one players for Frostburg. So, you wonder if Cale might get some playing time, additional playing time when they go on the road to Wesley on Saturday.
Yeah, you'd kind of hope so. He looks like he's proved himself a little bit. Give him a chance to get out there and do some of these same things. Just as long as he doesn't, again, try to sit there and say, well, this is how I'm going to play all the time. Just be a solid contributor to the Knights.
83-57, foul called on Lynch of Frostburg with just 22 seconds to go. That's going to send Wood to the foul line. Austin Wood, 6'1" freshman. He got into a few games back in November and December.
And again, just a nice, solid player. Learning the college game, but again, Coach Caputo is not only coaching for right now, but he's coaching for Saturday and then the next Wednesday and trying to find those pieces.
Second shot, no good. Rebound, Frostburg with just 18 seconds to go. 25-point lead. And now you would imagine Frostburg will let the clock run down, just dribbling the time away.
And then, again, good sportsmanship by him.
Just 2 seconds left. Pop Council inbounds, and that'll be the ball game. 83-58 final, Mike, as the Knights drop here with a loss to 2-13 on the season now. And the Knights are now 0-9 in the Capital Conference and a big win tonight. A much-needed victory tonight by the Frostburg Bobcats.
Yeah, Frostburg came in, got caught a little bit looking forward maybe in that first half, but then that technical foul really woke them up. They got refocused, and from that point on, we saw their full arsenal, especially the fast break. The Knights, on the other hand, just looked like, oh no, here we go again, and started to crumble and looked a little bit confused. But we did see some some new players come in the last part of the second half. Maybe see some of the future for the Knights. And again, I know Coach Caputo and Coach Winslow are really looking for whatever combination they can to have that consistency that we want to see, and I know they want to see.
And it's really difficult, obviously, as we've been talking about, trying to fill the shoes of Evans and Eaton. You don't do it individually, you do it as a team, and that's easier said than done, as we've been seeing.
Yeah, and this is something that a lot of teams have to go through. Again, in the Capital Conference, no one really cares if
right.
you have these type of injuries that come up or ineligibilities or what may have. They're all about, we got to go out and win, and Coach Caputo knows that. He's trying to fight through that. He's trying to keep his team up to fight through that. It looks like that a lot of the kids are out there playing as hard as they can, trying to do what the coaches want them to do. Just haven't found that combination that's going to allow them to be very consistent.
So that's going to wrap things up again here from the Knights Sports Arena. Again, the Knights will be playing on the road this coming weekend, doubleheader at Wesley, and then back here at home a week from tonight. They'll be taking on Christopher Newport. And again, repeating the final scores in the first game, the women were successful. Southern Virginia University women's team beating Frostburg 70-65. Final score here tonight in game number 2 in the men's contest, it was Frostburg 83 and Southern Virginia 58. That'll wrap things up here from Knights Sports Arena. For Mike Harmon, I'm Jim Bresnahan. Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a great evening.